A simple love story. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Chapter 1. The train station. The night was electric. The city pulsed with life, neon signs flashing like urgent messages from another world. Claire ran through the rain-slicked streets, her heart hammering, her breath hitching. She wasn't running from something, she was running to it, to him. Dylan stood at the old train station, his hands buried in his pockets, his face unreadable. The train was leaving in 5 minutes. This was it. She had a choice, tell him the truth or watch him disappear forever, but before she could speak, the ground trembled beneath them. A blinding light swallowed the station whole. And then, silence. Chapter 2. A Life in the Shadows. Claire had spent her whole life in the shadow of her older sister, Audrey. While Audrey seemed to glide effortlessly through life, excelling in law school, charming everyone at social gatherings, and never second-guessing herself, Claire always felt like the supporting character in someone else's story. Journalism was her passion, but even there, she felt like an imposter. Every story she wrote felt insignificant compared to the bold, award-winning pieces Audrey had written during her brief stint in the industry before moving on to law. And then there was Dylan. Audrey had never been interested in him, but that didn't matter. Claire still felt like she had no right to him. He was magnetic, creative, and fearless. Everything she wasn't. But Dylan had noticed Claire. He had seen the fire in her that she tried so hard to hide. And when he announced he was leaving for Paris to pursue his art career, she knew she couldn't let him go without telling him how she felt. Then came the explosion. Chapter 3. The Aftermath. When Claire woke up, the world was a blur of smoke, sirens, and flashing lights. She tried to sit up, but pain shot through her side. A paramedic knelt beside her, speaking, but the words were muffled. Dylan, she croaked. No one answered. 4 days, the accident dominated the news. A gas line rupture, they said. A freak accident. Several injured, 2 missing. Dylan was one of them. Grief swallowed Claire whole. Had she been seconds too late? Had she lost her chance forever? Then the email arrived. Chapter 4. The Secret Audrey Kept. The subject line was simple, I'm alive. Claire's fingers trembled as she opened the email. It was from Dylan. Short, cryptic, and urgent. Meet me where the world disappears. She knew exactly what it meant. The abandoned art studio where he used to take her, the one place that had always felt like an escape from reality. But Audrey stopped her before she could leave. Claire, wait, Audrey said, her voice uncharacteristically soft. There's something I need to tell you. What she revealed changed everything. Audrey had spent her entire life envying Claire, not the other way around. Claire had never seen it, but Audrey had always admired how fiercely Claire loved, how she pursued her passion without hesitation, how she made people feel seen. And Dylan? Audrey had always known Dylan loved Claire back. But Claire had been so caught up in comparisons that she never noticed. Don't compare yourself to me, Claire, Audrey whispered. You were never in my shadow. I was always in yours. Chapter 5. The Twist. Claire found Dylan at the studio. He was bruised, exhausted, but alive. The explosion had been no accident. He had discovered something dangerous about the gallery funding his Paris trip. He had faked his disappearance to keep her safe, and all along, Claire had been enough, not just for Dylan, but for herself. As the sun rose over the city, painting the world in hues of gold and pink, Claire finally saw it. She had spent her life believing she wasn't enough, when in reality, she had never needed to be anyone but herself. She wasn't a supporting character, she was the main story. The end.